And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for Overdrive League Summer Split 2018. We're starting off with the Plat division, getting off into this game of Brainstorm Gaming versus BDSM. And Brainstorm took quite a hit last week. Both of those games were defeats for them. They were the undefeated beasts that came out of nowhere. They were looking to be pretty much the Cloud9 of the league. Got humbled last week. We're going to see how they respond this week.
Yeah, they came into the league like a couple weeks ago. They just beat everyone, including the first place team at that time, which was Illumination Empire. But then last week, they lost to both Illumination and BDSM right here. So this is a rematch here. And we are already seeing some interesting picks and bans. Once again, like, Brainstorm, I think their mid laner just really doesn't like playing against Zed, so every single time, that's a ban. But they also like pulling out some interesting non-meta picks. They just kind of pick whatever they like. So this week, I wonder if they're still going for the same comp, like just totally based on comfort picks, early game comp, like an assassin mid, assassin jungler, just run around the map, see if they can like outrun the enemy team.
I'm curious to see if Fizz is going to get picked whatsoever, because both Brainstorm and BDSM, they're both Fizz lovers, Examon and In Your Head. But the changes that happened in the recent patch, they got rid of that burst damage to bring it back to on hit. So it's going to be interesting to see. He's most likely going to fall off because that burst damage was one of the reasons why he's craved. It just makes it so hard to deal with in lane because it sneaks up on you. Now that his Seastone Trident, by the way, that's the move that was changed, has gone back to that on hit dot type thing. Yeah, should fall off. I don't expect to see either team pick it up, but all bans are locked in. Brand, Graves, Twitch, Zed, Zoe, and Mundo. And we're going to head straight into the pick phase.
Yeah. So, I've played a couple games of Fizz on my own, and I have not been impressed by those changes. We can also see from the champion stats that his win rate just suddenly dropped all the way from like 51-52% to like 46, which is a pretty bad win rate. So I don't really see a priority here, but once again, Brainstorm Gaming, they don't play to meta. And right here, they're picking up this Quinn. I wonder where Quinn is going, because Quinn is currently topping the win rate charts on 3 roles, top, mid, and ADC.
Yeah, and you were saying they don't play meta. That's pretty meta right there. Swain is considered one of the better bullies in terms of bot lane picks if you're going to go that unorthodox thing, thanks to that passive. Being able to proc it from your teammate and drag someone closer with it is always very nice. The Quinn pick, as you said, very strong. But meanwhile, on the side of BDSM, we've gone with Xin Zhao, Zyra, and Kaisa thus far. And all of those extremely potent champions, but they've yet to really give themselves a front line to work with to start really working that Kaisa towards the end game.
Indeed. Zyra Kaisa is a really strong lane. Also, Zyra is like ex-homie's like top comfort pick. I feel like I've seen him on this champion many times, and he's always done pretty well on her. So after this initial pickup, I am expecting probably a tank top laner who has good engage, and which will enable their damage dealers to do a lot of damage. And on the other hand, I think Brainstorm has a really good flex pick in terms of the Quinn and Swain, because Swain can go bot lane, Quinn can also go bot lane. I think the Malphite is gonna go top, and we'll see what they decided to pick up in phase 2.
Yeah, so far the bans have gone out for phase 2. Darius, Rammus off the board, along with Fiora and Talon removed as well. So we did see quite a bit of a display of a Talon, but that was out of Illumination Empire who picked that Talon. And it was one of the keys to destroying Brainstorm. In this case, BDSM not opting to take it. maybe not feeling confident on it, maybe realizing in your head can do some work on it. But we are getting into the second phase of picks.
Yeah. So on the other hand, Brainstorm just doesn't want anyone to bully this mouth fight, taking away the strong top laners. But BDSM will pick up the Maokai here. So another wet noodle top lane matchup. Tank versus tank.
Yeah, it's not really a case of who wins it out. It's whose jungler does a better job of ganking for them, because that absolutely needs jungler intervention to go anywhere. But yeah, Vigar picked up on the side of Brainstorm Gaming, and it's a very interesting pick to see. Vigar hasn't seen too much play, though he is a powerhouse. The big problem with him is he gets bullied quite a bit in the early game and relies on jungler intervention a lot. So
Yeah,
seeing the
so-
Vigar picked, yeah, that's
Yeah, so we already see BDSM answering to this Vigar pick, just as you said. Vigar does get bullied early game, so BDSM picking a really strong early game champion in the LeBlanc.
no surprise there. And we're gonna close it out with a Vi. A little bit of a Meteos here. Vi only pops up once every blue moon, but tends to do quite decently. She's not a bad champ, just the meta is not the best for her when it comes to these dueling type junglers that want to fight over objectives.
Yeah, Vi has like really strong ganking power, but not as strong of 1v1 power compared to Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao, one of the best 1v1 champions in the early levels to fight over that scuttle, to like counter jungle, things like that.
Yeah, especially when all you have to do is point and click. Retell strike, bop, 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 knock him in the air, make them completely helpless and struggle to even run away.
Yep, indeed. But
Yeah, but
what
that-
what Vi can do is just gank lanes with the amount of CC Brainstorm Gaming has in their lanes. Like the Swain CC, the Vigar CC.
Yeah, and now with both compositions locked in at this point, what are we expecting to see out of this matchup? Who do you see really taking this game?
Wait, actually, on second thought, when you look at Brainstorm Gaming's comp, who is their support?
I'm gonna have to go with the Swain.
So Quinn Swain bot lane. Yeah, I know Brainstorm Gaming will surprise us in some way, in one way or another, every week. But not gonna lie, I did not see that Swain support coming.
I could see it working out decently just because of the CC, but in terms of damage, he will be a little bit lackluster. Swain is not someone who really relies on just pure base damage as someone like a Karma would do. But if they could chain the CC together, absolutely monstrous to have to deal with. And considering Kai'Sa has that weak early game, that gives them priority right then and there. Zyra's going to have to work overtime to really defend her ADC.
Indeed. And the fact that they have a Vi on their team, a really strong ganking jungler, Swain can set up some things for her. So yeah, in terms of team comp, BDSM definitely has a more traditional comp, even with that assassin in the mid lane. But once again, should I put my faith in Brainstorm Gaming and their niche comfort picks?
I don't know. You're asking for a lot here. This is a pretty good question. And a hard one to answer. Like, I'm looking at both comps and I like the way both of them look. The thing is, I feel like BDSM's comp is a little bit easier to execute. The thing is, they're relying very heavily to get to that late game, but they do have the tools to make it to that late game. That 3-item Kai'Sa that can absolutely pop off and destroy kiddos. As long as you protect that, get the kills rolling, get that spike as fast as possible, Kai'Sa can dominate that game. But that's assuming you get through the layers of CC and damage that Brainstorm are bringing to this fight.
Yeah, so BDSM, they have late game monsters in terms of the huge tank at the top lane of Maokai and the late game ADC and Kai'Sa, they do have some early game tools in terms of the Zinza and LeBlanc. Both are really strong early game champions that can help them get through the early game when Kaisa and Maokai aren't too strong yet. But on the other hand, Brainstorm also has Vygar, which is a scaling mage. He's gonna just click art in the late game if he gets the chance to do so, and then Kaisa's gonna get one shot. So yeah, it really depends.
The thing that's kind of surprising me here is look at me has opted to go for the barrier.
Yeah, that. A really defensive summoner, I would say.
Okay, I did get a little bit of an error, so.
Yeah, same. Did you get an error while trying to load in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
So we're gonna solve that really quickly. Hopefully really quickly.
It's alright guys, I'm here for you. I'm already watching the game, so I'll step in for a second until you guys get in. They actually had a quick pause at the beginning, so I know you guys couldn't really see that, but you're not missing anything too special, you know. Both teams are just kind of playing it smart, playing it safe. Spread out across the map, throw a couple wards down.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Hopefully when you guys load back in, you'll be right around the same time we're at.
Okay, this is where you have to absolutely love op.gg.
Why is that?
If you can't spectate any other way, it gives you a way to just hop in.
Oh, are you not able to
using their
spectate off of me or anything?
Nah, I'm not.
Oh,
Oh, I'm hopping back in through op.gg. It's loading.
Okay.
Yeah, it's loading now.
Well,
We're good.
we're only at a minute 20. Like I said, they're not doing anything special. You got, you know, BDSM starting red side with the Zen, and you know, Maokai just walked up into Vi's jungle a little bit just to try to spot out where she's starting, and she is starting on that red side for the top.
Okay, we are good now.
Okay. What time are you guys at?
I'm at 1:45.
Yep, perfect. All right. Take it away.
All right, so technical difficulties have concluded. Riot's client being very weird today. That's okay. Sorted it out thanks to the blessings of op.gg. Opie.gg.
Oh, bye.
Put an accent on it for some reason. I'm not sure why. But, yeah. Let's get into this. Already looks like a little bit of priority towards that bot side Scuttle Crab. May make these junglers meet, but instead blue buff going to be done by In Your Head. And we have to see it an attempt at a gank. Look at me. Flashes forward and forces the flash. Admiral Avery doing a good job there.
Yeah, pretty interesting gank right here.
Eximon's playing dangerously right there. Doing tower dives this early, even with the distortion. Those tower shots do a lot of damage, and we are going to see a duel between these junglers. But there is backup for Admiral Avery. In Your Head is a little bit too far forward. Does no choice but to give first blood over to I'm Single, the one person you really don't want to give it to.
Yeah, In Your Head being seriously out of position there, but also I would not have expected I'm Single and X-Homie to have lane priority right now. Especially when you have a Quinn ADC.
That damage was just massive to come out on a little bit too far forward of a positioning from X-Homie. But yeah, it is going to be some return. We are going to get a fight breaking out right here. Craze does better off in this fight. And I'm Single doesn't have flash. I feel like Craze could have followed that one up still.
Yeah, even though I'm Single did get first blood, the Kaisa lane really doesn't have a lot of priority over this Quinn's lane. Quincy just does way too much damage early on.
Yeah, and that was demonstrated from X-Homie getting blown up by Woodwork and Craze.
Homie definitely did not expect that either. How often do you see a Quinn Swain bot lane anyway?
And we are going to get a gank coming out straight, going on to Arlite. Arlite takes a lot of damage, but is able to use the power of the Bramble Smash to just deter that gank.
In your head, without the flash there, just isn't able to do a lot. Can't really follow up after the Bramble Smash.
So far, the one thing you have to watch out for in the bot lane when it comes to Craze is the way that Quinn passive works. It's all about layering shot after shot with your spells. And we got to hold that thought for a second because Rudy is getting ganked. The flash forced out immediately. Rudy not even wanting to chance that whatsoever.
Look at me stopping a really aggressive engage by Examon there.
But yeah, the one thing we're talking about with the Quinn is the reason her damage can be so disgusting is the way her passive works. When you land one spell, you get the mark of the passive that gives that empowered auto. You follow it up with another spell to refresh the mark after you've gotten the auto for another empowered auto. Usually what you want to do is you want to set it up where the passive naturally marks your target, if you can get close enough for that, and then chain it with 3 empowered autos using your spells in tandem.
Yeah, and the fact that if you can land your blind on a target, they just, especially a ranged target, they just can't auto attack you. They can't do anything back to you.
And that's
So
what
it's
makes
just
this
Yeah.
that's what makes the Swain thing like sort of work out if they can start getting ahead early. Is it makes it so all those chains of empowered autos, including the blind, there's not much you can do to really stop that once the Swain pulls you in and just gets you closer. It makes it really hard to run away, but we are going to get a fight between the junglers happening in the bot side. Going to use that Vault Breaker to get over the wall and run away from Admiral Avery. But the root is going to land and it forces the flash out of Craze. And look at that damage! That was absolutely disgusting. Craze falls. That beautiful, beautiful snipe coming out from the Void Seeker.
So much action happening in the bot lane. We didn't even really see how Examon got a solo kill in the mid lane.
This is Examon. He's playing an assassin, that's what Examon does.
Yeah, apparently he just got a solo kill on Look at Me.
I mean, this is a scary thing about the Zyra. You really got to respect the grasping roots, because if it locks onto you, typically what Zyras do is they throw the grasping roots and they plant their seeds in front of them as the grasping roots is going down. So you're not only going to get hit by the roots, you're getting hit by the plants that follow up as they're spawned.
Yeah, and that's just a lot of burst damage in a really short time that you can't even dodge. And Craze knew that there were a couple people around the bot lane. He kind of used his E pretty aggressively, tried to use it to proc the mark, but he got punished for it by getting snared there.
Yeah, really, Craze has to work on the back of Woodwork. Because if Woodwork, he has the safer CC. Having that never move, being able to use it from a range and lock someone in, that is much more safer than going in with the vault. You know, the vault pushes you actually in there while the never move drags your target towards you.
Indeed.
Indeed. Yeah, so far BDSM are looking like the more dominant team in this game so far. Definitely more active. You're seeing In Your Head have struggles with that Vi and see why the Vi doesn't exactly do that well in a competitive environment, but we do have an attack onto Rudy, gets snared up. Backup is here in the form of Admiral Avery, and the unstoppable force doesn't come fast enough, But here comes a gank towards the bot side. In Your Head is able to show up and destroys I'm Single. Ex-Homie trying to get under the tower, has a fair amount of health to do it, has to burn the flash to get there though.
A really nice gank coming from both junglers. In the top lane, Arlight sets up perfectly for the gank with his ultimate as well as his lockdown. There was no way Rudy could have gotten out of it, even with his ult, which he kind of wasted because the damage has already come through. On the other side, in the bot lane, it was just a lot of burst damage coming out from Craze and In Your Head at the same time, so both junglers managed to get a kill.
Ooh. Starting to see the weakness of the Vigar. He just doesn't do so hot when it comes to that early game, especially dealing with an assassin like LeBlanc. It's going to be some time before he turns on, but once he does, that's when things get scary for that LeBlanc. But
Yeah,
that's a weird pop of the ultimate right there coming out from Woodwork.
Woodwork really respecting the damage from the Kaisa Zyra. Probably thought he was gonna die if he didn't pop it, but I'm Single and Ex-Homie didn't really plan on going in there.
It's a little bit strange.
So overall, the early game, it just seems like BDSM has been winning all over the board.
Yeah, we do got a gank coming out from In Your Head. He's going to focus down onto this bot side. They set their sights onto Ex-Homie and execute him. Meanwhile, the Killer Instinct able to use it to juke out any incoming damage. A brilliant use of it. But In Your Head showing up in this bot side a lot. It's starting to pay off.
Yeah, so In Your Head realizing Falling is a lane we can win. Oh, Admiral.
Admiral Avery, very bad choice there. Assaulted battery, down he goes. You got to be careful about positioning there, especially when Brainstorm are the ones with priority on that bot side river. But now they're setting up for the dragon. That is a mountain drake. And no towers on the board. It'd be a very, very great drake to take at this time. With no smite on the board as well, it should be all theirs.
Yeah, Brainstorm Gaming realizing bot lane is the lane that they can win.
Oh, the damage coming out from Examon. Able to find 2 kills so far. The fight continuing. Examon over the wall, wants to finish the job, but so does BDSM. Look at me. Brainstorm, look at me, mind you, but I'm Single. Able to find a kill onto Woodwork in the process. The mountain going over on the side of Brainstorm Gaming, but they do lose quite a bit for it as it goes for a 2-for-1 exchange.
The Brainstorm, they are starting to play around this bot side, but then after that one really nice bot side play, they just kind of stayed on the dragon with really low health. Didn't really expect the burst damage from Examon, so Craze just got one shot by the LeBlanc there.
And a huge part of that was the distortion. They kind of clumped up for it. That was the big problem.
Mm-hmm. Even though Examon died, he was able to output so much damage before he died. And then I'm Single was just able to clean up there.
Oh, there we go again. Harassment City. On to Look At Me. Out goes the ultimate RLI. Twisted advance, and the damage is starting to pile up. But Examon, a little bit too far forward, gets killed off by Woodwork. A very disastrous play out of BDSM.
That was really unlucky. Examon missed the distortion there at the end and took a little too much tower shot there.
And while I'm liking Examon to LeBlanc, I've noticed a trend with his distortions. He's been missing quite a few of them, especially in laning phase. He did land that very crucial one that was over towards the Mountain Drake, but this is a recurring theme so far. Unstoppable Force goes out. The charge coming out from Admiral Avery. Working out to find 1 kill, but it's going to turn into a 1-for-1 as he's going to drop to In Your Head.
Crucially, In Your Head showed right up there at the end. Was able to pick that return kill, but look at me with this Vigar. He's just way too immobile. Like, Examon can jump on him, Admiral Avery can jump on him, Arla can jump on him. it's like he really has no way of getting out of things.
His only hope at this point really is just surviving this lane, getting as much farm as he can, and he's doing a decent job at it. He's keeping up in CS, so he's not terribly far off.
Go for the eyes.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't fall too behind, as long as this LeBlanc doesn't get too fed, he'll still be more useful late game as like a team fighting mage. And not much action happening right now. Woodwork trying to make something happen in the bot lane, but X-Homie is just gonna slowly poke them down. And some wet noodle fights coming out from the top lane between this tree and this mountain.
And right away, going straight into a fight. A little bit of an issue there, don't worry, but double kill picked up by In Your Head. They're able to find something. The Plat really working its magic against Craze, forces the heal out. Admiral Avery trying to find some redemption, finds it onto Woodwork. Out goes the ultimate. Admiral Avery finds 1 kill, but loses 2 of his teammates in the process. Now Rudy is here, but only for show. Doesn't really provide much else.
Yeah, Rudy just here to make sure nothing more happens. Admiral Avery able to pick up a return kill, but to start with, it was just a really nice gank from In Your Head. And there's so much engaged potential in this bot lane of Craze and Woodwork, and so much burst damage too. So there's
Here we
really
go.
not
Examon
much.
looking to try and take down the tank. Unstoppable Force goes the other way around. Got to question that one a little bit. Might have been his demise, but not enough damage to follow up. Rudy is going to be able to survive, but In Your Head going after Aralite. A lot of damage onto these tanks. These tanks are not having a fun time. Aralite goes over the wall, but he's taking In Your Head with him. But here comes Admiral Avery to even the odds, as well as look at me. Wants to find the kill onto Aralite. Aralite's going to go down. Examon is here now. Fight after fight, a new challenger appears, and he drops 2. That Rib Herald, but gets the kill back. A double kill picked up for Admiral Avery. Still fights going back and forth. I'm single on the spot side, wants to take down Woodwork. He is able to get the kill. Killer Instinct goes out. They get the double on the bot side. And this is overall looking so far so good for for the side of BDSM, as they take down 4 members in the grand total.
Yeah, the only member on Brainstorm kind of benefiting from this is Look at Me. As a late game champion, he was able to pick up some kills there. Able to shut down Examon, but overall, it's still a positive trade for BDSM. Even though the bot lane's been getting kind of camped, they're still putting in so much work.
Eyes in the sky.
I'm single and X-Homie, a lot of damage coming from that 2v2.
Ooh, a lot of damage going on to Craze as Examon absolutely assassinates him. Meanwhile, Dragon going over to the side of BDSM, evening this up to 1 Mountain Drake apiece.
Yeah, apparently not only the 2v2. Examon, a lot of damage. Especially when Examon is like 2 levels up on the Brainstorm bot lane. It's so easy for this LeBlanc to burst down anyone.
Yeah,
Anyone
I mean,
that's not named Rudy, basically.
and that's the problem with your draft right here. Brainstorm, they went with the Vigar as their mid lane pick without knowing what the mid lane of BDSM was going to be. And that the thing about Vigar is, yeah, he's strong, needs some scaling before he can get there, weak early, but very, very easy to counter. That's the big thing. And Examon has this in the bag so far, as he's absolutely outplayed and slaughtered. Look at me.
Yeah, the Vigar pick there, look at me, was a little disrespectful by blind picking it, because you can get punished really easily if you blind pick that champion. So look at me was probably really confident in blind picking the Vigar, but then he just got punished by a strong early game champion like the LeBlanc.
And we are getting a little bit of an attack onto Light. Assault and battery goes out. He's surviving for quite some time, but eventually falls to In Your Head. Backup is here. Admiral Avery, ex-homie, looking to try and see what they can find in the remains of that fight, but it's not going to be much. It's enough to get Brainstorm to back off.
Thinking about the 2v4, but then never mind. All 5 of Brainstorm Gaming are in the top side right now.
I don't know. I'm starting to feel like Brainstorm are just really getting figured out now, because they're making very awkward mistakes when it comes to draft, even in build. Like Craze, he went for the Stormrazor first. That is something I definitely don't agree with. The thing is, when you're going against a Kaisa, you want early game pressure, early game advantage, early game power to stop her from getting towards that mid game 3-item spike. So he should be going for a lethality type item. It works brilliantly on Quinn. Instead, he went straight for the Stormrazor, which is all right to take, but you lose out on a very strong early game where you could have been shutting out on single.
Yeah, especially for Coin, both Yumus and Dustblade work really well on her. Like, Yumus synergizes with your ultimate really well. You can fly around the map really quickly. And Dustblade...
Oh, Ruby!
Ooh.
Oh, where did he go?
When
Wrong
you thought...
place, wrong time.
When you thought the LeBlanc can't really do a lot of damage to a tank, he still got melted by Examon.
Yeah,
And they're going straight on the Baron.
You're calling him a tank, though, but look at his build. That's absolutely disrespectful to go that type of build and expect results. I mean, even if you're going to go an AP build on Malphite, you just all in and go for something way more aggressive than that, like the Luden's Echo into a death cap and just try and one-shot people. He's kind of just like half-ending an AP build, which I just don't understand what's going on here. They don't have much to work with in the long run. But here we go again, getting caught out. Gets rooted, not looking good for In Your Head. Aralite still has a twisted advance to get on him. Don't even need it. Double distortion does its more magic.
Yep.
But Luca's caught out now. The ultimate goes out there, unable to find the kill. Here comes I'm single. The killer instinct gets him into the fight in a hurry, and he's able to take down Look at Me and save Ex-Homie.
Save Ex-Homie and the tower.
Need eyes on him.
Well, In Your Head was just in the ball lane split pushing the whole time. This is the reason why BDSM was able to get the Baron freely, but In Your Head did able to get 2 towers in exchange. So I'm not sure if that's worth or not. It really depends on how many towers can BDSM get right here. How much can BDSM get with this Baron? They already got a kill on Look at Me. So.
Apparently they're going to find quite a decent amount. They managed to claim an inner tower. They're starting to rotate towards that top inner where a wave is primed to help out on this rotation. And with Baron buff, that tower's long forgone.
Yeah, so this is the second tower they will take with this Baron buff.
And look at Examon, absolutely fearless, able to do exactly what he wants. Aralite goes forward and they find the kill onto Woodwork. Here comes In Your Head, Unstoppable Force lands, but there's not much follow-up to be had. The follow-up of Examon goes disastrous as he falls, but so far, life, death everywhere, death especially for Brainstorm as they lose everyone in an ace. And that means the Nexus will be under fire next. The death timers 10 seconds until Woodwork's up. And look at Examon, absolutely fearless. Looking to continue this losing streak onto Brainstorm Gaming. getting them in a miserable place at the moment. They need to find a shift if Brainstorm's going to find their way back into this.
Whew. That was such an explosive ending. It looked like Brainstorm was gonna slowly defend this, but nope. They made an all-in attempt. Well, more like Woodwork first got caught out, and then they made an attempt to turn the fight around, but still failed to turn it around, and a swift 23-minute victory for BDSM here.
Yeah, BDSM, while it wasn't the cleanest of victories, they did do a pretty good job really establishing themselves and being able to slowly work that up and just absolutely destroy Brainstorm Gaming. And it all really was on the back of I'm Single. I'm Single, once he got going, it was very hard to shut him down.
Whew. Yeah, it just as we thought last week, teams are starting to figure out how Brainstorm Gaming plays. And Brainstorm Gaming is, even after the 2 losses last week, this week, they're still playing their style, which is kind of a disrespectful style. I believe it's like solely based on comfort, but maybe we're spectating their next game too. So maybe starting next game, I would I would hope that they make some changes to their draft. Maybe not necessarily play more meta, but like play draft with a little more respect. Think about what the enemy team's gonna pick, what they're gonna pick. So don't necessarily follow the same style anymore. Try to change something, shake things up, and hope they can get a win in the next game.
Yeah, and only time will tell with that one. But Brainstorm Gaming will be up again. We are going to take a quick break. We return. More Overdrive League Platinum Division action coming your way.